Hey, how you doing, everybody? Good to see you here. Guess what, gang? It's springtime. Spring has finally sprung here in Wisconsin. Of course, it's the middle of May, and we went from 40 last week and chance of snow to 95 and heat indexes of ridiculousness this week. But today is a beautiful day. It's going to be in the 80s probably. Going to be fantastic. So, of course, what do we do when it's nice out? We barbecue. We're going to be doing 4 meats today at various times. This video we're going to concentrate on 2 of them. Some of them you've seen us do before, some of them maybe you haven't. We have got 1 rack, half rack of baby back ribs, and we've also got a, what is this, probably about almost just short of 2-pound chuck arm roast. The reason I'm just showing you these things, not even so much that we haven't done roasts, we haven't done ribs before, you know we've done all that stuff in the past, but today it's about simplicity. It's about easy street. It's about cooking good food and not spending the entire day doing it, because my family likes to tell me I do too much and I need to slow down. So,
I mean, it's true.
Well, it is. You're probably right. And that's okay. So today's video is going to be all about simple techniques, simple cooks.
Technique.
Simple technique. So there's our roast. There's our little baby back rib half that we got. Now you can see there's some pretty thick fat on this. I'm going to get a different knife so I can tear that off. A little thicker fat, and that's not quite as bad, but this is like hard fat, so we don't want that on there. We'll just trim some of that off. There you can see we just got above it. There we go. Put that out of the way. Not bad. Again, relatively simple. There's no fancy dancy way to cut this off. You just cut it off. You know? And we bought these meats on sale like we always do, so a lot of times our cooks are based on what we find. We buy them close to date, or they're just about ready to go unless you freeze them or cook them. Sometimes we cook them right away, sometimes we freeze them and come back in a little while and cook them then. There we go, relatively simple, right? Now there's a little thick fat there, we'll get rid of that too. Not too bad. Pretty good little roast. Alright, so now we're going to do a little bit of simple dry rubs on the ribs, and we'll do a basic injection on this to get a little moisture in it, because there's not, as you can see, there's fat on the outside, but there's not super amounts of marbling on the inside. So our rack of ribs, this is just a mystery seasoning that we made in the past. We're not doing anything fancy. This doesn't have a silver skin on it, that was already removed, so we don't have to worry about getting that membrane off. We like to give it a heavy dose of dry rub. Make sure we get lots of good flavors in there. You can see again, there's marbling in there, but it's not super thick, so these should be some nice, flavorful, but not too fatty ribs. They do a nice job of trimming these, but they're really pretty. And you guys know, sometimes presentation is just as important when you're doing certain foods. Right?
Left.
Left. There we go. Get some on the end there. That one's pretty simple. This literally is just, you know, you can buy your store-bought dry rubs and do it even faster than I do. I happen to have this dry rub left over from something else, so we're just using it up. And we just about did. Good deal. All right, so we're gonna let that sit on there about 10 or 15 minutes. Just to break in the minute here, we've got the barrel smoker going. It's running about 250-ish degrees, which is fantastic for us. That's great. Let's get on to a dry rub for the roast. What we're going to do, we're going to have a lot of different flavors as you've seen us use before. We try to lean towards a little bit simpler rub when we're doing beef, just because I like the beef to talk to me with the flavor instead of just dry rub talking to me. And yes, I am. Unfortunately, with humidity, sometimes our ingredients tend to get a little clumpy in the jars. You know,
and it's been humid.
It's been, yeah, it was, what was it, 106 with the heat index a couple days ago? Oh, it's terrible. Yeah, of course the air conditioning on my truck went out, so that made it fun. We've got garlic powder, we've got onion powder, a little bit of cracked pepper, a little bit of mustard powder. You know, you guys know about all that stuff. And like I said, this is less than a 2-pound roast, so it's not going to take a super huge amount of dry rub. So we're not going to go too crazy here. And we're going to add paprika. And again, I like paprika just because I think it gives beef a really great color as well as a great flavor. So we're going to add quite a bit of that. Again, relatively simple. You've seen us do a lot of other dry rubs. Nothing too you know, mind-boggling that we do. Give it a bit of a mix. There we are. So before I inject this, or before I marinate this, let's try this again, shall we? It's early, I'm tired. Before we dry rub it, we're going to put a little injection in. Now this injection is, again, real simple. A couple of tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, probably about half a cup of beef broth, a little bit of fresh garlic in the bottom, just to give it that extra, yeah. And you've seen us inject things before, so again, this is nothing crazy. We've got a relatively inexpensive injector that we use because I'm a cheapskate. And we're just trying to get some extra moisture in there to make sure that this thing doesn't dry out. Now we're also going to be using a basting technique, if you want to call it that.
You're stabbing all the way through it, by the way.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. That's all right. Yeah, this is a pretty small thing, so trying to inject it is not super easy, but you get the idea of how that works. So we've got some extra moisture injected on the inside. Like, again, this is a technique you've seen us do before, but that's a simple, easy to do injection, a simple, easy to do dry rub. And again, if you want to go even simpler, go down to the store, buy some, you know, brand name barbecue dry rub. Put your favorite seasoning on. You can just go salt and pepper if you want. That'd probably be just fine too. I don't use a lot of salt. We've talked about that in the past. You know all about why. But again, relatively simple. Put our dry rub on and we are ready to go. So now we got to check out our smoker. Smoker's running a little bit hotter, about 275 right now. I'm going to close our damper a little bit. We're going to put these as far away from the hot box as we can, because we want to have, we got to clean the grill a little bit. Just a minute, please.
It's got a little bit of everything in this video.
That's right. We want to have the low and slow, like you guys know we do so much. If you barbecue at all, you know low and slow is what makes meats get that flavor, get that tenderness, get the juiciness, all that stuff. You guys know about that. And we want to do exactly that today. So we're going to take these guys, and these are going to probably take somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 hours. Maybe a little bit more than that once we do the wrap and everything like that. But we're going to try to put them as far away from the heat source as we can so they go nice and slow. We've also got some other meats that we're going to be cooking today. They're going to take a lot longer, so we want to get these as long and stretched out as possible. So we've got that going on. We're going to add our favorite thing to do when we barbecue. You guys know all about this, right?
Num num wood.
Num num wood, that's right. We're going to be adding some num num wood to our fire to give us a little bit of extra smoke. So we got that going on. There's not going to be a lot of footage from this video today. I will be doing a basting technique, if you will. After that roast has been on there for maybe half an hour to an hour, I'm going to use my injection, brush it on just like you've seen us do before. We're going to be doing some other things on the vertical smoker today as well. That'll be in another video, so if you want to see that, keep your eyes open for it. Our first video of 2022 where we're cooking, and I'm very excited about it. So stay tuned, gang. You'll see some cool stuff today. All right, so you know, Danielle and I were having a little conversation here while we were getting some other stuff prepped, and she says, you know what, Dad, it's our first food video that we've got to shoot this year. Let's make it all in one and do a little bit longer video, you know, because we've had a lot of our viewers talking to us and saying, hey man, when are you guys going to do a food video? And I said, hey, have you lived in Wisconsin? It's not fun to cook out here when it's like 30 degrees. Any event, we're just going to put everything in one video. A little longer content, good stuff. Anyway.
And that way I don't got to do it twice.
Yeah, she don't want to do twice. Yeah. No. So what we've got here is probably about a 2-pound corned beef brisket, relatively small. It's a little cold in the middle yet, even though I've had it in the fridge for 2 days after it came out of the freezer. But that shouldn't hurt us too much. So again, we're going to be using a really simple technique. We've got our beef broth that you saw us making for the roast earlier. We're just going to grab some of that, and we're going to inject this because we didn't do any marinades on this like you've seen us do on other briskets and other meats in the past. We're just going to use the injection, and we'll use the basting technique that we talked about earlier, and we'll show you that later on. But I wanted to get this one on as soon as I could because this one's probably going to take longer than anything because it's a little thicker piece of meat and it's still got a little bit of frosty frost in the inside. So, but rest assured, we'll run it a little closer to the fire. Everything should be fine. So again, simple injection, nothing too crazy. Most people have beef broths and things like that, the Worcestershire sauce on their house. You can see we trimmed off some of that thicker fat, left a little bit of the thinner fat cap on the bottom. And this actually is Maynard's Memphis Barbecue Seasoning and Rub. And we're using a store-bought one on this one, not because we can't make our own, you've seen us do that, but said, you know, let's do something from the store to show folks that you can use stuff from the store and it comes out perfectly fine. You don't need to be a rocket appliance to do this, a rocket scientist to do this. Rocket appliance? I forget. So yeah, we're just gonna literally put the dry rub on and do what it says. Rub the dry. Rub it dry. Anyway, get them flavors all nice and mixed up on there. Feeling good about everything. Looks great, huh? Save a little bit of rub.
A little bit tender.
Actually, with all that injection I put in there, it's almost going on like a mud rub. If you don't know what a mud rub is, look that up and see. Try that technique sometime. That's a lot of fun too.
Maybe we should do that in our next one.
Maybe we could do a mud rub. They're kind of fun. I mean, it literally is what it sounds like. Like this would be your dirt, and then you get some liquid in it and it becomes mud. So there it is.
Just roll it around on the ground.
Yeah, we'll just roll it around on the ground and make it taste like dirt.
Different nature flavor.
All natural. So our smoker went up a little bit since we talked last. I've got the valve completely closed on the top, trying to get the temperature to come down just a little bit. Had a little bit of wind, so it's been pushing the fire some. Not a big deal. We're gonna put this one on with the other guys, as you've seen them. I like my hands off, my gloves off here. There we are. Get those wiped off a little bit. And we're gonna put this one, again, like I said, a little closer to the fire because we want that one to cook a little bit faster because it's colder, it's thicker. I'm trying to get them done within a reasonable amount of the same time. It's not gonna be perfect. That's the way it goes. All right, so we've got the brisket on, we've got the roast on, we've got that mini rack of ribs on. Our next step is gonna be chickens. We're gonna cook 2 whole chickens today as well. So we're gonna regroup, get those things set up. We're gonna be running those on the vertical smoker today, making a different rub for those. We'll show you that in just a bit. Rock and roll! Huh? Yeah, this was a gift. I really like it. It says Kiss the Cook. My favorite band. So we're on to the chickens now. Now, believe it or not, even after 2 days, my chickens have not defrosted all the way. We're not going to let that deter us because you guys know as well as I do. Sometimes when you're planning meals, you tell the kids, "Hey, take this out of the freezer so I can put it on for dinner tonight," and they just pretend that
You never told me that.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying kids in general. So under normal circumstances, I'd take slices of oranges and the fresh rosemary sticks that we have in this container right here, and I'd put them inside the chicken so we get the permeation of the flavor throughout the chicken. That can't happen today. So we're going to try something a little different. Now you guys know one of the techniques that we use is what's called a drip pan or a water pan, right? You've seen us do that before?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to do that again today. And today we're going to make this, again, keep it simple, stupid, right? So we're just going to quarter up some oranges. Ah, here comes the cookie crook. In this case, the orange crook. So
Oh, so good.
yeah. So we're going to put in some fresh oranges in there and we're going to let them do their thing. Yeah, that's fine. We'll put those in there. And then we're going to add some juice to this. And we're going to use a similar technique like we talked about in the earlier parts of the video, the other meats. This literally is chicken broth and fresh garlic. That's all it is.
Oh, that was really good, actually.
Well, I got a whole other orange right there for you to have. So we're going to add this liquid to the pan, and we'll cut, eventually I'll cut this other orange up, squeeze some of the juice out, put it in there, so we can do the basting technique that we've discussed. In the meantime, I got to get my hot gloves. One moment, please. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these chickens on the vertical smoker. And we've also got, as you've seen us use before, get that nice and opened up. We've got 2 racks in here, right? You look in there, we got this one on the top, which I'll take out, which is really hot. Probably should be using my hot gloves. That's all right. And then we've got the lower one. So we're going to take that pan you saw me fill up just a moment ago with the rosemary and the oranges and everything stuff in it. And we're going to set that right above the fire. So that what that does, that gives us the steaming and the flavor adding action of boiling that up. It also catches some of the chicken drippings as it cooks down. And we'll add more flavor to our food. Yeah, yeah. All right, back to the prep table, please. Now again, in this video, it's to keep it simple because, again, a lot of time people are a little bit afraid to do certain things with their food because they've never done them before, because it looks like it's hard to do, however you want to look at it. I want to keep this one simple. This is beer can chicken seasoning. Comes from the store just like it is, made by this company. And we're literally just going to put this right on the chicken, just like it is.
Smells good.
Oh my gosh, does it ever. And there's a lot of, you can tell all the different flavors and things in here. That's fantastic stuff. Yeah, these are going to take a while to cook. That's why we're trying to get started early today. Normally I would put these on for about 2.5 or 3 hours, but as you can see, they're still frozen.
So much for not being an all-day cook.
Yeah, well, you know. But the thing is, my refrigerator must be incredible because after 2 days, the ice didn't melt. And again, if you are trying to coordinate things and you forget to take something out of the freezer or whatever the situation may be, it doesn't mean you can't, you got to order out pizza. You can still take care of business. So we're doing
I
these.
don't know, man. Pizza's pretty good, though.
Pizza is good. Rest assured, when you have this, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. And I don't recommend cooking these things frozen. I really don't. It's not a good idea to try to do this. But we've got company coming today, got some friends coming over, some family coming over, and we don't want to have them waiting for 12 hours while this chicken defrosts. You know, I mean, they got this far in 2 days. I can't imagine what it would take to get the rest of the way. Anyway, they're going to take, instead of probably 2.5 or 3 hours, something like that, low and slow at about 250 degrees, you're probably looking at 5 hours. Okay, we can do that. We've got a little bit of dry rub left over to save for adding a little bit more later once we start our basting. And we're going to use the same technique we're going to use on the beef products that we've got on the other smoker. We're going to take that chicken broth, that garlic, and we're going to add some orange juice to it. And then every half hour or so we'll just, you know, drizzle a little bit over the top and make that happen. All right, so on to the smoker we go. We're about in the neighborhood of 250 to 275 degrees. We're going to put these directly on the top over our drip pan as best as we can, like that. And we'll see how it goes.
I see it dripping already.
Yeah, see, we're already getting that stuff coming up, getting that flavor going.
You need more Flavor Town on the top of that one.
Yep, coming right up. I saw that kind of got knocked off on there. And that happens.
Coming to Flavor Town.
Won't you take me to Flavor Town?
I'm gonna get you in Flavor
That's
Town.
right, Flavor Town. There we go. That's you know what? We'll just that's have a little smoke in your eyes. How's that sound? All right. So last step before we close the lid. Actually, we can close the lid first, then do
And the lid.
Put the lid on.
Put the lid on the cover.
Put the lid on the record. And the drum beat goes like this. There we are. Now, last thing we do. You guys know this technique. We gotta put in some num wood.
Oh, we gotta come see it.
Come see. This is a hard one to get it in because it's such a small doorway. But that's all right. See that technique? You see that? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that talent, huh?
Wow,
Yeah,
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, or at least one. We gotta go add some more to this smoker too while we're at it. Now this is a blend of hickory and oak, I believe.
No, it's just nom wood.
Nom wood. Yeah, our first round is gone out of here, so we gotta throw in a little bit more. We'll get some good smoke going out of this thing in a minute here. There we go. So what do you think of that?
Pretty great.
Like that? All right. So now the fun part, bless you, is we get to sit around and wait while things happen.
Okay.
In about 30, I got about 30 to 40 minutes, somewhere in that neighborhood, maybe an hour, give or take a little. We're gonna take our marinades or injections that we made, baste our foods accordingly, chicken on chicken, beef on beef, and nothing on the pork. We'll clean up, we'll wait for that to happen. We'll show you that one time do it a few times throughout the day, check our temperatures throughout the day, and we'll show you the end results and then when it's time to eat. All right, so we've added some more num wood along the way. You can see we just did the vertical smoker with the chickens. I actually flipped the chickens over to give them a little chance to cook evenly, that kind of thing. They look really good. They're cooking faster than I thought they would, which is fantastic. I'm very happy about that. We also added some of our basting, painting.
All about that baste?
No trouble. Anyway, so we're going to check the other meats out. And you can see,
nice and dark.
Oh yeah, they're coming along real nicely, aren't they? So again, we're going to get smoke in our eyes so we can't see.
I'm zooming them in.
Oh my goodness. Wow, that thing just blasted me right in the eyeballs.
Gotta zoom you guys in because I'm right next to the hot box.
That's right. So this is our beef broth and garlic and Worcestershire sauce, those kind of things in there. We talked about that earlier. We're just giving them a nice little coat. There's our little brisket thing going on there. That looks pretty good. Here's our roast. Again, the color's coming in nice thanks to the paprika and the other things that are in the rubs. Nice and dark, coming along very nicely. Cooking right at about 250 degrees, so I'm pretty happy with it overall. I'm probably going to go another hour, do it again. We won't show you that. And I'm probably going to rotate these around a little bit just to get a little more even cooking. You guys know about that.
Rotate.
Make it dizzy. Anyway, most of the rest of this is repetition. You've seen us do it before. You've seen me do it today. Won't show you a whole lot of that, but when we get down near the end, we'll come back on. We'll show you what each one of these meats look like when they're done. Right, so we're, I don't know what we are, 2-ish hours into this probably. The chickens actually are to the point where I'm happy with the outsides, but they're a little cool in the middle yet. They're running about 85, 90 degrees. So I wrapped them in a aluminum foil, put them in a pan, and they're inside in the oven at about 225 degrees just so they can low and slow to get up to temperature. Meantime, I've moved all the meats over closer to the fire because our fire has gone down in temperature just a little bit. We're just adding more juice to these, flipping them occasionally. Probably going to flip them one more time. When they get to temperature, I don't think I'm going to wrap the roast, but I am going to wrap the brisket up and probably going to wrap the ribs. The ribs are cooking a little slower than I'd hoped they would, but they are cooking nonetheless, so it should be a good time. We're pretty much, you've seen us wrap things before and cook them and all that, so I'm probably not going to show you a whole lot of that, but we're definitely going to show you the end result. So don't forget to stick around. Here we go. Let's see what we got in this one. I forgot already. Oh yeah, this is the roast.
Oh,
Let me grab my tongs.
that's so good.
I hope it's done. Now we had some rain move in on us, so we had to take things and put them in the oven and get them indoors to try to finish them. But that shouldn't be a problem. Looks amazing. It smells amazing.
I've been waiting all day.
Let's see what we got. Not bad, not
Looks
bad.
pretty good.
It looks done to me.
There's a nice pink ring around the end.
Gotta have the smoke ring, right? There you go, test away.
Ow.
Yeah, it's a little hot, it just came out of the oven. Tastes alright?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, Josh.
You got that smoke back in the flavor, didn't you? Alright, we're gonna cut this one up. Put it aside in here for now. Let's see what's in the next one.
Doesn't help with my hunger.
No, that's probably true. This should be the brisket, the little corned beef brisket we made.
That's what I'm waiting for.
This one I'm a little concerned about not being quite as done as it should be. We did get over 190 degrees in it, so it should be, I know it's cooked, but if it's as tender as it should be is the question. It doesn't feel like it's going to be quite as tender as I like. It looks phenomenal, it smells incredible.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not too bad.
Sorry, I'm just so hungry. I can't talk.
And I'll tell you what, we just did the little bits that we did. Take a look at the juice running out of that thing. There you go, honey. Give it a whirl. Yeah, she's digging that too. All right, so we got that
That's
one.
my piece, right?
Yeah, that's your piece, right? Exactly. Let's see what the ribs turned out like. We're doing pretty good. We're 2 for 2, right? Again, we just had. Whoa! We get blown away out here. Like there's some storms moving in. We better get eating. All right.
I saw they're both 5 o'clock.
Yeah, one mini half rack of baby back rib. Oh my goodness, look at the bone falling out of there.
There's not enough.
No, this is just for taste testing, okay? Or for.
Oh my.
Oh man.
Wow.
Go ahead.
That might be too big.
No, oh, you want to? Here, let me do this. There you go. How about that?
Oh my. Oh no.
Yeah, that's exactly what you should say when you eat that. Yeah, you're just.
Hot. Literally melt in your mouth.
There's enough for everybody to have one.
Here's my one.
There's your one. That's.
Oh, they're clean off.
Clean off the bone. That's the way it should be, right? All right. Well, we got one more to go. I think I'm gonna have to use a different tray here. No, yeah, I will. So when I wrapped the chicken up in this pan, I decided it would probably be a good idea to throw the orange slices in, keep the moisture up, that sort of thing. Yeah, that bad, huh?
It's a lot of meat.
Yeah. So let's see what the chickens came out like. I dumped this all over my foot coming out of the house.
Oh, God.
It's so hot. Oh, my gosh. Burned my foot.
Ooh, nice and charcoal.
Yeah. I just threw the orange slices. Look how much juice came out of these.
Oh.
All right, I'm going to see if I can
Look
get
at
one
that juice.
See if I can get one of these out of here without destroying it.
Look how much is in there.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's see what this chickie tastes like.
Chicky.
Oof, that's hot.
Yeah, no, don't duh.
No duh.
You gotta give Mike a leg.
I'll let Mike have whatever he wants. Let's cut a little bit of this off right here if I can get a hold of it. You know what? Let's do it that way. Let's see what that tastes like. Dad make okay food? Dad made okay food?
You gotta try it for them.
All right, I'll try it.
That's as soft as the ribs.
Yeah. Wow. You know, normally I like having the rosemary and everything stuffed inside the
You can
chicken when
definitely
I cook
taste
it.
it.
You didn't really need to on this one. So hey, gang,
Can't taste much orange though.
the orange, the citrus is there in the back. But it's not as strong as the rosemary is. But gang, listen, this will show you right here. Even if you're pressed for time, things aren't quite done the way they are. You know, we've spent a little extra time cooking today because we were a little behind the 8 ball after the morning. Having the meats not quite defrosted the way they needed to be. Perfectly all right. We were able to make a great meal out of this. Or we're about to. So we're going to get to it and enjoy this.
Woo.
In the meantime, gang, we appreciate you being here. Hopefully we'll be doing a lot more videos of food in the not too distant future, so keep your eyes open. So make sure you're subscribed. You know, hit the like button, bell notification goes ring a ding, and hit the all button.
Oh, the skin's got the citrus.
That way you know each and every time we do another video. In the meantime, we're gonna go eat. So appreciate y'all being here. Share out the videos if you can. Help us out. We're getting closer and closer to 1,000.
Woo.
We a very attainable goal for us. I want to do a big giveaway for it. So get to it, gang. Share this video out. We're out of here. Thanks for joining us, everybody.